Hi, this is Curtis Bailey, elder law attorney and co-host on Scammercast.com, educating, informing, and protecting our elders and those that care for them on the Two Guys Talking podcast network.
Welcome to Green Gab, a place to gab with women and men, rocking it in green. Green homes, green living, and green companies. Hey, this is Marla, green home coach, with Tony, my intellectual partner in green. I said it right.
Yes, you did. I'm Tony Pratt with the Sound Room. Great to be here again.
I know. And it was a gorgeous day today. I even had the windows open. It was so nice.
It's a fabulous day.
I know. I love it. The days I can turn off the AC and just enjoy the outdoors.
And not use as many harmful emissions, right?
Oh, we're going to go there already. Oh, come on. We have to have a little fun first.
We're talking on the radio. Every day is fun.
Well, this is true. So we have a guest today in the room, Michelle Woods with Habitat for Humanity St. Charles. And Michelle, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Marla.
So we'll see how much we can make you crack up during all this. Because we have a philosophy that it's a green odyssey every day at a time. And we're out to learn new stuff and share it with folks. So we'll see what we come up with today.
Sounds good.
You and I were talking beforehand, trying to figure out how long we've known each other. But I guess it's been 4 years?
I think it's close to 4 years because I came to Habitat 5 years ago. And Habitat was doing green building then.
Okay.
But I kind of came into helping it and supporting it probably about a year after I was there. So time flies.
We met working on some of the green projects that Habitat was and still does. Well, you haven't certified any renovations, but you all have done some with green principles.
Correct.
And then you did certify several projects, if I remember correctly.
So 21 is what we're working on some final certifications for. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, out of 75 total that we've built.
So have you found that by building some of the homes green certified that it's upped what you do in general?
Definitely. That's something we love about green building is it's common sense building.
Yep.
And so we replicate it. So on some that we haven't got certified, we're doing a lot of the same practices. Of course, not to the blower door testing and the high levels that green certification does require. But yeah, our construction managers have really picked up the strategies and skills and use it all the time.
You know, we've talked about that on a few different episodes. Sometimes it's not about making sure you have the certification, but at least using that checklist and building to those philosophies. That's the most important part.
We totally agree.
I think that quote's going to hit our social post because that's a great quote.
What quote?
That green building is common sense building.
It is.
We may just have to take that one forward.
Did I say that?
You did. That was a real jewel. Thank you. Kind of back up a little bit and talk a little bit about what you do at Habitat, and let's talk a little bit, too, about what Habitat does, because Habitat International reaches so many people's lives.
The vision of Habitat International is a world where everyone has a decent place to live. There's many habitats around the world. I work in Habitat for Humanity of St. Charles County. We each kind of serve our own areas. And what we're doing is creating affordable housing, creating simple, decent, affordable homes, whether we build, which is the majority of what we do, or we rehab. What we know is that in St. Charles County, many families are hardworking and they're still struggling. And they're struggling with affordable rents. They're struggling to find affordable housing. And they're paying extremely high electricity bills. So green was just such a good fit for us because of that affordability piece, right? And so one thing that we're really proud of is that affordable doesn't mean cheap, right? So affordable means smart and good practices and sustainability. So
now, do you guys get any kind of data as far as once the homeowners have been in there like for a year, what their utility bills are that you can at least compare?
Yeah, so far it's been kind of anecdotal. We've been working on kind of getting some better numbers on that.
Right.
The anecdotal reports are great decreases in utility bills and low utilities. But yeah, we're working with kind of getting some more based on family size. You know, we got a family of 5 and a family of 1 and comparing the numbers.
Yeah, right. Granted, we understand that, but for the general public, because I would think if Habitat, puts out something like that, everybody's going to pay attention to it and say, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just because of the name recognition with Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, I mean, Habitat St. Charles has had a lot of support with Marla and Laclede Gas,
Home Builders Association.
Home Builders Association.
Women
Who's
Build.
Travis with? Who's Travis with? He's
Advanced
helping
Green
us.
Consulting.
Okay. But Habitat International as well has really pushed all of the affiliates to do this. So there's a lot of support and encouragement. There were, at one point, incentives for us to do that, to get that push going. Because really, 4 years ago when we started working, there was still a lot of resistance
I remember.
to green building.
And now-
and why?
I mean,
And
I
now
go to
there's not.
conferences, almost every conference I go to on energy efficiency or green, somebody from Habitat International is speaking.
Awesome.
And they're also speaking a lot about resilient housing, which is a
Very
huge
cool.
component of green if you think about it, and sustainability, because being resilient means it's going to still stand,
Right,
which is kind of a cool idea,
right.
especially as our weather's getting more turbulent. You want to know it's going to still stand.
Well,
Right. We build strong and
And isn't the
Sustainable.
lifespan for your baseline structure when it's green is supposed to be 50 years?
Yes. Yeah. That's what it's
Awesome.
supposed to be built towards.
And we talk about this being a family's forever home. You know, a lot of the families that we work with who maybe struggle with finding affordable housing, they have to move a lot. So we call it their forever home. So our mortgages most times are 30 years. But yeah, we need to build a house that's going to last.
So families that want to have a Habitat home have a mortgage.
They
So
do.
it's not a gift, but they also have sweat equity in the house, right?
Correct. So we call the families who work with us partner families. And our partner families have to work on the home. So they have to help build their home, so whether it's a rehab or a new construction. We do find sweat equity, is what we call it. We find that for all levels of ability. So if you're disabled or have challenges, physical or mental challenges, we find opportunities actually on the job site, but also in our restore or, you know, in creative ways to make sure everybody's a part of it. But yeah, our homeowners help to build their homes, which also just puts forth that education, that knowledge that, you know, you can have a smart home, but if you don't know how to work it and run it, that's not a great way either. So
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's been listening to our podcast.
But you're right. I mean, and all of us,
It's so
no matter if
fun.
you have a green home or just a home that can be greener, homes are just complicated.
yeah,
there's a
and
lot
it's so
to
fun
them.
to hear them say, well, I know this because I did it. You know, I
Yes.
know that's caulked because I did that.
Well, I
Or-
learned how to install bat insulation, BATT, not BAD. But I learned how to install insulation on a Habitat project when we had a women build
Yeah.
a couple of years ago. And it was great because I had to go into a project not too long after that the insulation was not done exactly correctly. And I said, let me show you how that's done.
I got this.
I'm sure you were popular on the job site.
Actually, they were really awesome about it. I was really, really impressed. They really did a great job of saying, we want to learn how to do this right and making it right. So,
Well, that's good.
people want to do the right thing.
I think most people do.
Well, hang on. Let's keep that thought. We'll be right back after our break.
Are you a blogger? Always wanted to be one? Are you a business that wants to add a blog to their website? Are you an existing blogger who's looking for more traffic? Then check out bloggersbug.com for the perfect solution to your blog creation needs. Access bloggersbug.com now and get bit by the bloggers bug. How? Check out bloggersbug.com for the perfect solution to your blog creation needs. Get bit by the bloggers bug. bloggersbug.com. Get bit by the bloggers bug.
Hey, podcast fans! Ever wanted to learn sign language? How about learning more about the deaf and hard of hearing culture? Well, the time and effort has come to allow you to do just that. Don't miss the Interpreter's Toolbox podcast from Two Guys Talking. Great sign language vocabulary lessons, contests, stories, and more are waiting for you after you watch this new video podcast. Check out interpretertoolbox.com for more details and get cash and prizes for your comments now. It's all about life. interpretertoolbox.com.
Looking for a straightforward user interface and a cost-effective, feature-filled multi-track recording software? Call off the search! Mixcraft from Acoustica has exactly what you're looking for. It's time to include reliable audio creation and editing software with real punch into your projects. Check out Mixcraft now over at acoustica.com/Mixcraft and start a new generation of audio creation and editing today.
So back gabbing with Michelle of Habitat for Humanity St. Charles. So you learn anything new yet, Tony?
I always learn something new.
That's the best part about this, isn't it?
Well, it's easy when you don't know that much to begin with.
Oh, come on. How many programs have you been through? Okay, so you keep learning.
Are we talking academic? Are we talking something else?
Oh, I'm not going there.
It's family radio.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Michelle, you were doing a great job running us through what the mission of Habitat is and how y'all are impacting the St. Charles area. And for people that are not in the St. Louis metropolitan area, let me kind of explain that St. Charles is a county next to St. Louis County, and it's considered part of the major metropolitan area of St. Louis. Technically 7 counties in the metropolitan area.
And actually, I think they took that up to 9.
Did they?
There's a couple others.
Because there were 4 in Missouri and 3 in Illinois.
Right.
But anyway, we keep growing like...
Yeah, they're starting to include 2 of the other outlying counties now.
So St. Charles County is actually what you cover, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So you're the next county over from St. Louis County. And there is another Habitat in St. Louis that services St. Louis County.
Exactly.
So we're big enough that we've got, like a lot of big cities, I imagine, that have multiple Habitat. Are you considered a chapter or what's the right name?
Affiliate is the term they use.
I'm like, I don't know the right word.
Yeah, and St. Louis is city and county. So.
Right. Yeah, we had that anomaly.
It makes sense to have St. Charles have its own one because isn't there like 1 million people in St. Charles County?
I'm not sure if it's 1 million, but...
There's a lot.
It's getting close.
Yeah. And that's where the majority of new building has been
Right.
over the last 10 years or so because there's still big tracts of land out there.
Yeah, and it's getting harder to find affordable pieces of land to buy on. It really is. You know, we had the huge housing boom. A lot of people moved out, and now it's starting, values are going up again, and it's such a challenge to build affordables.
So will that change the ratio of what you renovate to what you build?
So it could, and it has in other affiliates. So... Okay. I know that we're in touch with an affiliate in California, for instance, where they simply cannot afford to build new homes in their community. Yeah, price of living, all of that. So what they do is repairs.
Okay.
Right. So it is an option. The model for Habitat for Humanity started with one home, one family, and that's really what's been perpetuated for many years. But Habitat International is really encouraging us to branch out and just see that any way that you can sustain a family or help a family with affordable housing is something we want to be a part of.
That's a good thing.
Right? So it's just kind of encouraging us to look outside of the box and kind of do what's right for our community.
Well, that gives you some latitude to think about new ways to approach that.
Right.
But you're right. Land is a big constraint there. Definitely.
Yeah, it is.
Crazy.
Well, and of course, we all know from talking to different builders, that's the big challenge now. Is,
for everybody.
Everybody's in a competition for land.
At least here.
Yeah.
Now I go down to Oklahoma City where I have family and I spend a lot of time down there and they're building like crazy. But Oklahoma City is one of the largest metropolitan areas with pastures and farms incorporated. So it's just a whole different situation than we have here. Yeah. So I know it varies a lot by area.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned back in our last segment that Habitat supports a lot of its efforts with its Restore. And I wanted you to talk more about that because I personally love the Restore.
Right. So the way we describe the Restore, it is a store, a business that's open to the public. Our store is open Wednesday through Saturday. We have some summer extended hours from 9 to 9. What it is we sell new and used home improvement goods, including furniture. So we ask the community and different businesses to donate so that when we sell these items to the public, all of the proceeds then go to further Habitat for Humanity's mission to build affordable housing, and it all does stay in our community. And St. Louis has, I believe, 2 restores, and that is kind of the model of our self-sustaining. So we're able to pay for our overhead as an affiliate so that all donated dollars goes directly to home building. So.
And I assume folks that donate get a tax write-off.
It is definitely tax deductible.
So what kind of things do you want? In addition to gently used, do you also want overruns or when somebody orders too much of something or something they couldn't use? So a lot of brand new things will show up in Restore.
Yes. Like I said, different stores in the area could give us product that's brand new. And so you could go in one day and we could have washer and dryers that, a business donated. We could have something from an aisle at Lowe's where they decided to renovate that aisle and we got the stuff. Furniture is something we've been doing for a couple years now, and we've been doing really well with that. We have a huge furniture section. But yes, if you're a contractor or builder, we want your extras.
So it ties right into the 3 R's, right? Our reuse.
And it is. And so we're really proud of all that we're diverting from landfills. And they've got so many tons that we've diverted since our inception about, say, 6 years ago, something like that. So we just want to pay it forward with materials, too.
So if folks want to help out with Habitat, they can donate to Restore. How else can they help out?
We run on volunteers. So that is how we do what we do. We have volunteers in every aspect of Habitat for Humanity. The most popular, some say the most sexy part, is the building part. So, of course, volunteers on the construction sites. We build spring, summer, fall. We've built through the winter before. Our construction manager doesn't like that, but we do that.
Nobody likes that.
Right. Our build days are Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. That's when we have volunteers at the site. So you coordinate all that through our volunteer coordinator. Her name is Lauren, but you can go to the website to find all of that information, and we'll post
put that
website
on the podcast notes, yeah.
So that's one piece of it. The Restore is always needing volunteers as well. Our Restore manager, Lori Kehoe, always says, working on the construction site's the sexy part, but she sells used toilets, and that's pretty fun too.
Just flush your worries away, right?
No pun intended.
Right. But they have a lot of fun at the Restore, and it has just grown leaps and bounds. We're across from Mid-Rivers Mall now in more of a retail location. We used to be more of like a warehouse, and now it's a really fun shopping experience. We get home decor items as well. So again, through the website, you can find out about those opportunities. And then you can always donate to Habitat for Humanity as well, and you can check out opportunities at the website. One thing we love for people to learn about us is to get out on the construction site with a group. Maybe it's a team building activity for your work.
These are the build days, right?
Yeah, learning how to put in insulation one day. And it's really just taking yourself out of your normal, everyday situation and getting a break from that and kind of bonding.
I miss it.
So we have sponsor for a day opportunities if you want to do that with your business. We had a teacher group come out the other day now that they're on summer break, and so that's always fun too.
So if a company or a group does a build day, is there some sort of a donation that goes along with that, or is it just volunteers? And we only have a few seconds, so we may have to wrap this up after the break.
Yeah, we ask that they sponsor their workday for the build materials they'll be using that day. We can have that conversation at what level is comfortable, but we love it when you come with the materials.
So let's take that up when we get back.
Don't miss the next episode of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't just a television show now on ABC. It's a great new podcast available at agentsofshield.tv, only on the Two Guys Talking Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Art Maines from Scammercast.com, where we educate, inform, and protect our elders and those who care for them on the Two Guys Talking Podcast Network.
Hey, we're getting in on the gab for why green matters to you, your family and friends, and your community. And we're talking today with Michelle from Habitat, which I think I've repeated myself a number of times. But you were on a roll talking about...
Sponsor for a day?
Yep. Build programs.
So if
getting on a project.
So if your group wants to come out, or you and a bunch of friends want to come out, we'd love for you to sponsor that day with a donation so that we can help get all the materials ready for that day. And of course, it costs to build. And so any support is helpful and needed. It's not a mandatory requirement. We just ask that of groups that come out. When individuals come out, there's no mandatory donation as well. So we just want people...
Bring a 2x4 with you?
Yeah, we just want people to come out, be a part of it. There's other opportunities once you kind of get in and learn about Habitat. We can take people on committees who are good in marketing or good in construction or things like that to help support and give advice and things like that for us. So it really is volunteer driven.
So what's the minimum age for someone to volunteer to be on a build site?
It needs to be 16.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
And do you get groups of like college kids or high school kids coming out to help?
We do get college kids. High school kids, we get some, and then their groups are almost split in half because some can and some can't do the building. But yeah, we have some awesome kids come out and get involved.
I know the day I was out there, we had volunteers from several different areas as well as our build group. So, of course, I think we were working on 2 or 3 houses that day.
In fact, Lewis and Clark Technical School, their students actually laid brick for us on one of the homes. So that was last year.
Do they have a construction management program or something that's related to building, or is it just a group of students that like to come out and build?
They've just been out that one time, but I believe it was, according to their coursework.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice when you can take what you're learning in the classroom and actually put it to use.
Right.
Well, and this would be a great way. So Professional Women in Building, which is a council of the Home Builders Association, has done a Women Build Day, and we're looking to do another one. And one of the other things that we do is speak to schools about opportunities for careers in the building industry and directing them to the fact they could get onto a build day.
Right.
Could be a really great introduction to building, some hands-on experience for a lot of these students.
Oh, absolutely.
So I will take that back to Professional Women in Building and suggest that, because I think that could be a great segue.
Yeah, and so I'll just clarify for the listeners, women are always encouraged and welcome on our sites, but we actually build a house every year that focuses just on women doing the building. We have men involved in it as well, but we really want to highlight, encourage, and invite women to participate, and that's called our Women Build. And Lowe's is one of our major sponsors for that.
And is that a national program?
It is a national program. Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, through Habitat for Humanity.
So that program runs year-long, culminating in a house, right, basically?
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct. We do a kickoff on Mother's Day weekend every year, and we just ask for you to start thinking about a group. Maybe it's a group of parents, a group of professionals in different industries, and coming out and doing build days together, getting a team.
That's a great idea. You know, women are such an interesting factor in home ownership and in the whole home equation. We tend to make so many decisions about a home, and our numbers for owning a home, a lot of single women owning a home now.
That's right.
And the numbers are rapidly on the rise. I would guess that a number of your homeowners are women that own the home by themselves.
Yeah, we do have a lot of single moms. We do.
But what better gift to give to your children than a place to call home?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And yourself.
And to know how to take care of it.
Right. Definitely. Well, I love the program, and I've loved being a part of it, and I thank you for that opportunity.
Oh, well, we love that you are a part of it, and you promote it and help gather friends and colleagues to come out there with you.
Well, and you're right. There's so many different ways to volunteer, and I think so many of us kind of say, "Oh my gosh, I want to go do this," and then we don't necessarily make the time. So I would encourage folks, and not just the pot calling the kettle black. So I'm encouraging myself to just get out there and sign up for one of the build days. Tony, we need to get out and do one. So I'm putting it on the air so that somebody can hold us to that.
There you go.
I'm hoping Michelle's going to make us accountable for that.
She'll just hit play on, remember this podcast?
Remember this?
Yeah.
So you said that earlier, 21 out of the 75-ish homes that you built over the last, I didn't remember how many years you said, have been certified green.
Right, or a couple are still in the process, but that's right.
About how many homes a year do y'all participate in?
So we build from 4 to 6 homes a year. Okay. That's kind of been our model for the past 5 to 6 years.
So that's an impressive amount of homes over the years then.
Yeah.
Definitely. So you've impacted a lot of families.
Yeah, and like I say, even when they're not certified, we are continuing a lot of the practices and passing that
good.
Forward.
You know,
raising the ante, right?
The scary thing is when you compare your numbers as Habitat for Humanity to some of the other builders in
statistically,
town, you're one of the larger ones in reality in St. Louis.
Yeah, actually, nationwide, Habitat is one of the nation's largest home builders.
Oh, that's not
surprising.
Yeah,
that's not surprising.
Yeah, but it's not often thought of that way. Yeah.
So because you're a mainly volunteer-led organization, how does that impact the process of building a house? And I know you get a lot of services and materials donated, but what does that look like?
So we have a small staff and we reach out into the community. So we have built over the years different community partnerships that we're so fortunate to sustain and continue on with. Corporations, businesses, we're always looking for additional sponsors and support, but it really is person to person, people learning about what we do, trying it out, and then going back to their networks and finding a way to support us. So the volunteers do the building. We have one construction manager. I know this isn't real green, but we pretty much build everything from scratch. We don't do a lot of prefab.
Well, with a lot of the way you work with volunteers, you almost have to.
What we have to juggle is just giving those volunteers a great building experience as well, starting from the ground up, and we really do it all. But the volunteers do it all. We have some real loyal volunteers who come out like every Wednesday. We call them our Wednesday crew. So we have
that's cool.
Some who kind of, or a support staff, I'd say, to our construction manager. But it really is volunteers, people in the community signing up, coming out, helping make it real.
So we'll definitely put the volunteer site separately from the main Habitat St. Charles site when we put the podcast notes up. That way it'll be real quick.
Sounds great.
If people are interested in learning how to volunteer.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It's a great thing to do for a day over the summer. And now that I've committed on air, Tony, I guess we better pick a date.
Well, we'll have the
August
Green
has
Gab
great weather.
build team.
We'll have the Green Gab build team. There you go. This sounds like a good idea. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for what you and Habitat do in our community. It's a blessing to be a part of that and to know that our community is a part of that. So we really appreciate all that all that you guys do.
Good thing this is internet radio.
Thank you, Marla, and thanks for all the support that you've given us to help do what we do. So I've learned so much from you and others over the last 4 years. Who knew I would know all about green building?
There you go.
4 years into Habitat. So no, I really appreciate it.
Well, we're going to wrap it up on the Green Gap. Check out the podcast notes for the links and have a blessed day. Habitat for Humanity of St. Charles County, building safe, decent, and affordable homes. Check out their website to volunteer and learn how you can help.